Hey guys, continuing my Week 7 previews and analysis. This video is for the game between the Denver Broncos and the Indianapolis Colts. The big game of the weekend. Peyton Manning traveling back to Indianapolis to his old stomping grounds, a stadium you can make the argument that he built by all the success him and his Colts teams had during his tenure there in Indianapolis. And, from a football standpoint, the Colts first, they come into this game off of maybe a look-ahead loss last Monday night to the Chargers. But looking ahead to this game, I don't feel the moment will be too big for this team, especially Andrew Luck, the quarterback who obviously replaced Peyton Manning. But I think if the Colts are going to squeeze out a victory, I think they have to do it one of three ways. One of them I think you can eliminate right off the bat. To beat this Peyton Manning team, you either need to have one of three things, one of those being a running game. And I don't think the Colts' running game has proven to be consistent enough without Ahmad Bradshaw for me to expect them to do that in this one. The second thing you can do to slow down Peyton Manning in this offense is to have a superior pass rush. Robert Mathis with 9.5 sacks on that turf at home definitely has the capability to do that. And I'll be interested to see his matchup against Chris Clark, the backup Broncos left tackle here, with Ryan Clady obviously out for the season. And the third way I think you can beat them is with explosive plays. Plays similar to what the Cowboys got in their game. That's why I think T.Y. Hilton's going to have a major influence on this game. He's the game breaker. Wayne is the steady presence that always seems to be open. Darius Hayward-Bay has some explosive talents, but when this team is able to be prolific, it's when they're getting Hilton involved early and often with those big plays. And just think of the game against Seattle even, where he had an excellent game. So I look for that to be the key here, either for them to get Hilton involved early and often with big plays or Mathis. I think from Andrew Luck's standpoint, I don't expect him to implode in this big spot. But on the other hand, look for Von Miller's return to be a big part of this game. If the Colts and Anthony Costanzo more in particular, and all the rest of the offensive line of the Colts, if they're not able to sort of contain Von Miller in his return off the 6-game suspension, he can make life heck for any offense, and we'll see how he comes back into the fold here. From an offensive point of view, I like the Broncos matchup against the Colts, because if you look at that Chargers game, the Chargers were able to sustain a lot of long drives, taking what the defense gave them, mixing in some of the running game. Remember, the Broncos are 12th in the NFL in running the football as well. So Peyton Manning has no problem checking to runs and establishing it, taking the short and intermediate passes when they're there, and then beating you down the field when the opportunity presents itself. And I think that fits well against this Colts defense. Again, the Robert Mathis, Von Miller matchup, can either of them get to the quarterback? I like Denver's running game more than I like Indianapolis' running game. And look, Peyton Manning and those weapons. You saw, the Colts defense have trouble with the likes of Danny Woodhead and the rookie receiver Keenan Allen last week for the Chargers. So look for Noshawn Moreno to be involved in the passing game, which he's very adept at. And, if they had trouble with Keenan Allen, what about the arsenal of receivers that the Broncos are going to throw at the Colts? This defense of the Colts does play better at home. They're usually a little bit more opportunistic at home. But this is not a dominant home team that has a significant home advantage. But look no further than their earlier in the year game against the Dolphins. So while I think this game will be competitive for the first 3 quarters, maybe 2.5 quarters, I like the Broncos matchups in this game a little bit more than I like the Colts. Again, I don't think last week was indicative of how good the Colts are. I think they're much better than that. But I like Denver minus 6.5 to go into Indianapolis, which should be a Peyton Manning love affair before the game. All business once the game starts. And I like Denver minus 6.5 to beat Indy. Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I preview and recap every game every week, and I'm always talking the news of the day in the NFL. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening, and have a great night.